Paul Ryan, live from Capitol Hill. And Mr. Speaker, thanks for coming back. And what a day we have here. We are told to expect a shutdown that begins tomorrow. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, it is if the Senate Democrats keep trying to shut down the government. That's what's going on here, Bill. This is absolutely needless, completely unnecessary, and wholly because of Senate Democrats trying to shut down the government, holding the entire government hostage for a completely unrelated issue that doesn't even have a deadline right now. Look, what we do have a deadline is if we do have a government shutdown that the Democrats insist on, troops don't get paid. They're holding our military hostage. Children's health insurance dries up. In 7 states run out of money for their children's health insurance. The medical device tax kicks in, so anybody getting a medical procedure that involves a device is going to pay a whole lot more for that procedure. Those are things that are going to happen if the Senate Democrats continue to insist on shutting down the government.
Okay,
I find it kind of interesting, Bill. Let me just say one more thing. Senator Schumer said this very tactic, this very strategy a few years ago was governmental chaos. Nancy Pelosi called it legislative arson. This is exactly what they're doing, and it's completely unnecessary to hold the government hostage for something that's completely unrelated. And by the way, those DACA negotiations are underway. There are good faith bipartisan negotiations underway on DACA right now that have been occurring for some time, and that deadline is not until March. So what they're simply trying to do is hold all of government hostage, our troops, kids' health insurance, for a completely unrelated issue, and I think it's shameful.
Yeah, you know your history. Republicans have taken heat for shutdowns in the past, and Democrats are arguing you got the majority in the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Yeah.
Now, right. I know you need 60 votes in the Senate. That means you need 9 Democrats. At this rate, it seems like you need 13 Democrats.
Yeah. So we have. So
what's
Bill,
your
we have
argument on that?
Yeah, we have experience in futile gestures. I will grant you that. So we know a thing or two about these things. And that's what I think the Democrats are hoping. They're hoping that they can get us into a shutdown and make Republicans look bad when they're the ones who get us into the shutdown. They're hoping that it would be just like you said. I think I saw Wolf Blitzer saying this on CNN the other day, which is, well, the Republicans are in control of the House and the Senate and the White House. Why would they shut down the government? I think the Democrats are hoping that the American people won't know that they had their fingerprints all over this, that the American people won't know that it is the Senate Democrats who are actually filibustering this, because as you said, Bill, unfortunately, it takes 60 votes in the Senate to do any of this stuff. I found it interesting that the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Schumer, yesterday said we should do an appropriations process. Guess what, Bill? The House passed all of the appropriation bills before the fiscal year deadline, September 30th, and they've been sitting in the Senate since September. So every single appropriation bill to fund all of government, those bills passed the House and are sitting in the Senate. We passed the defense appropriations bill twice. It's sitting in the Senate. We passed the hurricane relief appropriation bill in December. It's sitting in the Senate. And there's one theme as to why none of this activity is occurring, no action's happening. Senate Democrats are filibustering appropriations, funding the government, and now they're filibustering just a continuing resolution to keep the government open.
Okay, now I like Wolf. I used to work with him, but what are you watching CNN for? Kidding.
Somebody showed me a clip, sorry.
Apparently. Listen, even if you get a deal, you get an extension till mid-February, 4 weeks from now. Even if you get a deal, DACA expires in March.
That's right.
Can this Congress do a deal over the next 6 weeks? It takes care of the budget?
I think so.
That takes care of Dreamers? That takes care of border security? You're saying you can get all of that done?
Yeah, you can't do it in 4 or 5 days, which some people are suggesting. That would be ridiculous. But you can do it in a number of weeks. You know why, Bill? Because we've been talking about it, negotiating it for more than that. The House already passed these bills with respect to funding. So do I believe we can fix these issues? Do we want to deport 700,000 DACA kids? No, we don't want to do that. But we also don't want to have another 700,000 DACA kids in 5 years. We want to fix the underlying problem, and that requires security. That requires interior enforcement, border security, fixing not just the symptom but the root cause of the DACA problem. Those negotiations are good faith. They're underway. And can we get the government funded? Yeah, we've already passed these bills in the House. So we've already proven we're willing to and we're able to do it. The Senate Democrats got to stop filibustering, come to the table, and negotiate in good faith and get these things done.
You had a big vote last night. The Freedom Caucus, conservative members of the Republican Party, crossed over and voted yes with you. I feel as if that threw Senate Democrats a bit a loop.
I think that's right.
Do you agree with that impression?
Yeah, I think they were counting on us to being disunified, that we would ourselves, quote unquote, shut the government down. we saw this play for what it was. The Senate Democrats are holding our men and women in uniform hostage over an unrelated issue. The Senate Democrats are holding children's health insurance hostage for an unrelated issue. And so every one of our Republican members realize that's just wrong. We're going to call them on it. We're going to keep the government funded. We're going to keep the government going because we are in the majority, and we're going to call them on this. And that's what they're doing. They're basically holding all of government hostage. Troops won't get paid after tomorrow if the Senate Democrats have their way. 7 states will run out of children's health insurance if the Senate Democrats have their way. It's ridiculous, and it is legislative arson. It is governmental chaos, as Chuck and Nancy used to say, and I don't think they should do it.
You're asking for a simple up or down vote. I mean, that's their argument.
Yeah, just pass. Yeah. Let me just say one thing, Bill.
Can you give them
this bill we
something
passed
to win over these 13 votes that you're hunting?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The bill that we passed, they support it. That's the craziest thing about this is the chip in extension bill. The Democrats support that. The keeping the government funded. The Democrats support that. There's nothing in the bill that the House passed yesterday. Not a single thing that the Democrats oppose. That's what's so ironic about all of this. So this is nothing more than legislative hostage taking, and the collateral damage in this are the men and women in military, people going out and getting medical procedures, and kids who need health insurance. And so my point is, the bill we passed, it's a short-term extension to make sure these productive legislative talks get completed. The Democrats don't oppose anything in there, so that's what's so weird about this.
Okay, we're going to hold you over here a little bit. Sanders going to get in here as well.